Alright guys, you saw the title of the mouse video. In this video, in chess, I'm going to be reviewing a 100 elo game that I found, and it's one of the worst games I've ever seen. By the way guys, very sorry if there are some just moments in the video in which my voice just isn't clear. I don't know why. I really don't know why that's happening. But before I begin guys, you can just please drop a like and subs. That would really help the channel a ton. If you're really interested, you can drop super thanks, and yeah, just turn on captions if it's difficult to hear my voice. So the game starts off with e3, and then e6. Okay. Although, usually, you should go for the center immediately, but okay. Now we have the move knight f3. Developing a piece. I mean, you can't really say this move is a bad move. And we have knight c6. Okay. Now we have knight c3. And now we have knight b4. And this is a mistake because, well, you can just play pawn a3 and just... the knight will just be forced to retreat immediately. And you're just instantly winning by development. But instead we have pawn a4. I have absolutely no idea what this move achieves. Maybe it's a mouse slip, maybe, I guess we'll never know. Then we have the move pawn d6. Okay. But now we have the move rook a3. For some reason, it's just very common in low elo games to see players trying to bring out their rook in this very just weird way by just pushing the a and h pawns. I don't know why, it's just very common to see. Now we have pawn e5. Okay. Now we have pawn h4, and now I really have no idea what's happening. The bishop moves, and obviously, there's a threat here. And white completely disregards that. And the reason this is winning, believe it or not, is not due to knight captures, even though that's actually what happens. It's due to bishop captures. Because now, the queen only has one move over here. And now you play this. And now, once the queen moves back, you play this. It forces white to sacrifice the queen. And you're instantly winning. But this is 100 elo. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So instead, we just have knight captures with check, and the game isn't going nearly as bad. So the king moves, obviously, because, well, capturing the queen just loses the queen for no reason. Obviously, you wouldn't do that. And then we have bishop g6. And now the game is winning for white. The reason is not to save the rook. That's not the reason. The reason is actually pawn h5. Because it traps the bishop. Because let's say they play this. You play this. And now the bishop, it's captured. That's it. But obviously that isn't going to happen, and instead we just have d3. I guess the idea is to just make the bishop not defend the knight. I guess that's White's idea. But the knight just moves, obviously. And we have knight moves as well. And then we just have the capture of a pawn, although, well, in this position, you should just sacrifice the rook because, well, you'd be getting two pieces for one. Instead, we have bishop d2, and now the game is just completely losing. Now we have knight development. Now we just have captures. Now we have captures. Then we have rook moves, and now the game is just completely lost because, well, this, like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Now we have bishop f5, and now the game is somehow winning. The evaluation bar just keeps going up and down, seriously. Now we have pawn a5, okay. Now we have queen d7. Rook moves. Now we have a check. The king moves. And black captures a pawn. Okay. And we have rook moves. I guess maybe the idea is to try to win the queen, although obviously that isn't going to happen. And yeah, we just have the knight being blundered instantly. Now we have pawn push. And now we have this move, which just loses a bishop instantly, and white actually captures the bishop. Now we have queen captures. And you can probably just capture this pawn, and then, like, after a trade, probably you'd be winning. Or, you know, you could just capture this knight. Now we have rook c3. Queen moves. Once again, this knight, it exists. But for some reason, white just doesn't want to capture it. Now I have this move. Queen moves. And now the knight isn't exactly blundered anymore. Now we have the capture of a pawn, which just blunders the rook in one move. And finally, white captures the knight. Wow. Then we have queen c8, rook e4, queen moves. Then we have rook moves. Now we have king moves. Then we have pawn push. The queen moves. Now we have knight moves. Now the queen moves again, and then we have the move pawn h5, just attacking the queen immediately. The queen moves, obviously, and now this move is a very bad move because, well, this move exists. It attacks the king and the queen at the same time. And even if you don't play that move, like, maybe you could play something like this and still maybe win the queen. Although, to be fair, this move just guarantees you'll win the queen. But as long as you just don't put the knight, like, here or here, you still might have a chance of winning the queen. Well, obviously it doesn't happen. Instead, yeah, we just have the knight moving back and... Oh, wow. The queen is blundered. That isn't found, obviously. Now we have pawn push. Knight moves. And then we have this move, the brilliancy. Queen g6. Because this blunders the queen to the pawn. What? So the pawn doesn't capture because, well, this is 100 elo. Then the king moves for some reason. And finally the pawn captures. Now the rook moves. Pawn captures. The rook moves. And now we just have pawn to queen. The king moves. And then white just sacrifices the queen. And believe it or not, it's actually the best move in this position because it leads to mate in 3. I mean, if you want to find it, you're welcome to find it. Although I honestly have no idea where the mate in 3 is. Maybe it has something to do with this. No, that's mate in 7. No. I really have no idea where it even is. Wait. Oh. Oh, I see it. Wait. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, and even if they don't move there, wait. If they go here... Oh, wow. Okay. Well, obviously that isn't found, and instead we just have pawn push. Now we just have the blunder of a pawn. And then we just have a check, and yeah, the rook is just captured instantly. And now white just blunders their bishop and just begins capturing more pawns, and we have a check. And then they bring out their queen, and they chose the only move that loses the bishop. Okay. And now we have this check. King moves. Now we just have more checks. And then, yeah, we have the capture of more pawns. Black just totally gave up in this position and just sacrificed their rook. And then we had more and more checks. Until eventually, white promoted, and then we had queen c8, mate. What the heck did we just watch? Like, seriously, what was this? Opening that made absolutely no sense. What else? Multiple weird moves. The queen was blundered, but that wasn't found, obviously. More pieces being blundered. Multiple strategies that were completely missed, if they really were strategies to begin with. And then we just had more and more blunders. And multiple free pieces being missed. Somehow this move not being found, I have no idea how. And apparently, they didn't even find out for a moment when the pawn was able to capture the queen. Then they found out. Wait, how long did they even spend this move? 8 seconds. Okay. And then the pawn promoted to a queen. And white accidentally played the best move in this position. In this position, I would have 100% just played knight captures. But okay. And yeah, we just had more and more moves eventually. And slowly but surely, white got all of black's pieces and pawns, and then they promoted and checkmated. This game was simply horrendous. But before I end this video, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and a sub, and yeah, if you really enjoyed it, you can also drop super thanks, and if you have any game you may want me to review, comment it down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.